Hey everyone, welcome to the video, and let's talk about this SP202. I just found it in the market last week and decided to get it straight away just so I could try it out and see what kind of filters it has and what kind of sound it puts out. Okay, so just let's run through it and see how it works and see how it sounds, right? First of all, let's get into the sample rates that this thing has. So when you sample something through this, you have the option to sample it at different sample rates. So you have the hi-fi standard, Lo-fi 1 and Lo-fi 2. Let's get into some sampling time. So if you're recording something with hi-fi in stereo, you have up to around 16 seconds to sample. If you go to mono, then it's double that. So you're going to get into around 32 seconds. If you get into the standard, if you're using stereo, you're going to get around 30 seconds of sampling time. If you go to mono in standard, then you get double that. So almost like a minute, around a minute. And it continues. So you get to Lo-fi 1, you get more sampling time. If you get to Lo-fi 2, you have more sampling time. Already took some recordings so you guys can listen to the quality. This is the sound of the XL. Okay, so this is the hi-fi version. You can see that it's distorting already a little bit. You're getting that crunchy sound from it. Let's get into standard. So it's this one. And you can hear it distorting already. Let's get into Lo-fi 1. Let's get into Lo-fi number 2. Okay, so that's one of the things that I like using is the sample rates, the different sample rates that you can choose from. It's another thing that the XL has. You can convert one of the samples to a different sample rate, but here is just quicker to do it because if you're doing it on the XL, it takes a lot of time for it to process the audio, and here is super quick. You just sample it inside this and then sample it back in. And that's one of the reasons why I have it on the side of the XL as well, because the XL doesn't have the resampling function as well. I used the AKAI force for that, but now I have this set in the middle of the signal path and just taking advantage of the filters and the sample rate. That way I get like a unique sound that comes from the 202. So basically the way that this is set up, I'm sending sound into the 202 from the XL, then this goes into the force and the force sends it back to the XL again. Okay, I have two outputs that go out from my force into my DAW when I want to record something into the DAW. It doesn't happen much lately. Everything kind of stays right here, but I do have that option to send it into the DAW in case I want to do that. So let's actually get into it. I'll show you how the workflow is. Okay, so let's try the workflow. Okay, I'm going to use the filters, going to let you know how I use it in the signal path. So this machine, as I said, doesn't have a resample function, but I do have the effect board inside. And one of the things about the effect board inside this, it works as a return track. So you have two return tracks. What I like to do is I like to keep the return tracks free, open for it to be used by any other sample, okay? So I don't like to have a sample sit on the return track. What I do is I use the effect board inside of the XL, send my sample through that return, but then sample it into here and sample it back into the XL again with the effects that I used on the effect board. I then free my return track so I can use it for another sample. So let's choose a sample right here. Now let's say I want this sample but with a high pass filter on it. So I'm going to go into my mixer. I'm going to send it into the effects, and this return track of the effects, this insert already has an EQ, and that EQ cuts the low end. So I can use it as a high pass. So let's record this. I'm going to record it with a hi-fi. Let's go record. And you can already hear some of the noise from this machine, which I love. I really like that. So I can now free my insert into the effect board. Just take that out. I have my sample, but now I have a copy of that and sample it into the XL. Okay, now I have it inside of the XL. Let's drop it right there. That's basically how I use it, okay? It's super simple. What you can do as well is use the filters in here before you sample it into the XL again. So it definitely has its own color. Okay, let's see how this piano sounds with the standard recording. Okay, let's record something. Let's get into standard. You definitely get that noisy sound from it, and it's just beautiful if you're into this type of thing, right? And that's how I have it in the studio. It's just something to run the sound through it and get that color out of it. I wouldn't use it for beat making because it doesn't have a sequencer and it doesn't have a resample function like the new SPs as well. It's good just to play around with the pads so you can sample something into the pads and just jam it out. But you know, then there's no way for you to record what you did unless this is connected to a laptop. I'm going to just jam out some sounds here with the SP202. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.